Hey, it's your girl, Nettie B.
And it's Rima L, and you are tuned in to the Sugar and Spouse podcast, where we'll discuss all the sugar, aka the tips and tricks to make your wedding planning journey a bit sweeter.
And don't forget the spouse, which are ways to keep that spark alive before and after the I-dos. We'll also highlight professional vendors. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Hey!
What's up, girl?
We're back! Yes, I couldn't wait for season 2. I'm so ready for this.
Yes, it's been a long time. How was your summer? How was your break?
Summer was great. Break was fun. Did a few trips here and there, you know. Definitely have to remember to still date and stuff. So let's get into that. How was your break?
It was good. I was just kept thinking of so many ideas and just really excited for us to get back into it and share everything that we learned on our time off and just get started and talk about some of the new things we have going on this season.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. We're talking about giveaways, interviews, venues. We're trying to dip into all of it this
season and really grow what we've already started, and it's just been super fun. So I'm so excited to get into this. Today we will be talking about, two things. One that's a little bit fun, one that's kind of not so fun, but something that a lot of people go through.
Yes. And those things are post-wedding blues and honeymoons. It's the end of two different spectrums.
Yes.
You're off of your wedding bliss, you're on that wedding high, you go on your honeymoon, and then some time pass. It ain't about you anymore. That's called post-wedding blues. That's not to kick in.
And post-wedding blues is something that kind of can happen with anything, really. We finish our first season and then we're happy they're gonna have another season, but there's a little sad part. It was it's over, but it's actually never over. So that's not the only thing. But it happens even when you have a big trip you might plan, and then you get on the trip, or the trip is booked, and you kind of feel a little sad. The same thing happens with the weddings, and that's the post-wedding blues. And I think it's a little bit more intense with the weddings.
Yeah, so let's get into it. Nettie, did you experience any post-wedding blues? I know it's still fresh. You haven't hit the year yet. So how are things going?
No, I didn't, but I think because things just never stop. So we got married, and then we had to move right away, and then we had to start jobs, and then we finally had a time to have our honeymoon, which we just recently did. And so no, it hasn't hit me yet, but that timeline is legitimately almost a whole year of just something happening and not really getting a chance to let the dust settle. So I guess I can keep you guys posted if I do start feeling a little blue. What about you? Did you have any?
I don't know, girl. So we're going into, let's see, 21, 2, 3, year 4 is this year. So it is a bit different. It's a little shifty. So we still are in love, obviously, but it's not the same, when you're planning and it's I'm so stressed out. Both are stressed out together. So it's okay, let me think of something to alleviate your stress, and you think to alleviate my stress. But 3 years, 4 years in, and then it's we have a child. So it's you're back to your regular hustle and bustle, It's not 100% wedding focus. It's career now, house, child. And sometimes you get lost in the sauce and you might forget about each other a little bit. But then you kind of think back oh, well, I wish it was back when we were wedding planning and, we took that break and had a little getaway or a nice dinner or something.
Yeah. I can see that.
I guess I feel a little bit of it. Not too crazy. Nothing crazy.
I think like the first time I heard about wedding blues, honestly, was from you. You were telling me about someone that you knew. Like, I don't remember. That's just a long time ago. This is before I was even proposed to. I don't even think this might even been before I met my husband now.
Mm-hmm.
It was it was a really long time ago. Like, we were talking, like, someone you knew was married, and you were telling me like they were like really feeling sad, like, there's no more bridal showers, there's no more brunches, there's no more this and that, and you're like, they were like, oh, I want to plan something else, and that was kind of like the first time I ever heard of that. So I always thought about that going forward, and I thought that maybe when I got married, I kept that in my mind, like, when I got married, I'm gonna have all these, like, I'm gonna do a destination wedding, so I can have like 1 million events, so that I won't feel this.
But it all comes to an end, girl. So it's like, it's the only time you get to be selfish. That's your only self-centered time, right? Like, the wedding is about you and the person you're getting married to. So now there's no more of that, it's okay, congratulations, that time has passed, and then gotta move on to other things.
And then, like, depending on your situation, you could be going, like, just be in a complete honeymoon phase, right? Or maybe you haven't been like living with your partner yet, or just like you said, the attention, everyone is there, everyone is like, every time you're going to meet up with your friends, you're like the topic of conversation, because everybody's going to come to you and say, how are you doing? Get your dress. People checking in on you and things like that. So it does change, but just know that you're not alone, and we should try to give you guys some tips on like how to deal with that, like how to deal with the wedding planning blues.
And another thing of wedding planning blues too is that emotional aftermath after the wedding. Like, imagine you had a lot of back and forth conflicts with your in-laws or something, or your mom wanted you to do one thing, you didn't want to do it, and now you guys are having issues. It's like, now that the wedding is said and done, those things don't go away. So that can also be a part of wedding blues as well. So, Nettie, what do you think we can suggest to try to get over these things?
Well, number one, acknowledge it. You're not going crazy. And you should also, if it's like, there's different degrees of this, like it can get really, if you're someone who you might be actually experiencing something like an actual depression, or it might be a little bit more serious. Don't be afraid to seek help. Talk to other people, go to see a therapist. That's the number one. So you're not alone, and there's varying degrees. And a number one thing too is like, if you're questioning, like, why do I feel bad? I've just had my wedding or whatever. Just know that this is something, and there's help, and you're literally not alone.
Yes. And another thing you can do, if you're that bride who was just so used to being an abundance of love from everybody, and you're the center of the attention at this time, and now it's 4 or 5 months and no one's checking in, no one's asking those things anymore, and you're feeling sad about it, you want to relive those moments, rewatch your footage. If you got the wedding videos or photos, you can look through those, and hopefully that can spark up some more positive memories of your wedding day.
Yeah, speaking of reminiscing on your wedding day and photos, that's something you can totally do with your now spouse. Like, it's really fun and it's really heartwarming. I do it sometimes still. Like, my phone will create like a memory.
Oh, I love those.
And like, I'll show my husband, and then like every time I show him or we look to him, I kind of learn like another piece of his point of view through the day, and it brings me right back. We talk about the good, and then the bad things are not so bad anymore because we made it through. So you know how hindsight's 2020. So it does like fill a void. So that's a good
Yeah. And definitely don't forget each other. Like, you guys can still date. You can date your wife. You can date your husband. It's like, it's not the end of the road. It's like, you got married. Don't be that couple that's like, all right, husband and wife, wife and wife, husband, husband, whatever floats your boat. But that's not it. You can still date your spouse. Okay, so you want to keep that in mind and maybe plan something to look forward to. If you feel like your spouse or even you are going through this type of feelings, then plan an event to celebrate that love again and spark it up.
Yeah, which leads me actually to the next tip to help you get through the wedding blues. If you are experiencing this or you know someone else is experiencing, make future plans, make things to look forward to. Like, oh, let me redecorate my house, or let's plan our honeymoon, or let's plan a trip with my bridal party, or literally anything. Some people jump into family planning, but things to look forward to. Even moving, it's something.
And even if that's what pushes you forward, the family planning, a lot of people think like, okay, the next step is to push out some kids.
Or adopt, or however you guys want to go about it. But like, what is our family going to look like? Are we deciding to be child free, or we're just going to have fur babies, or we're just going to travel, or whatever? But this is a new chapter in your life, and you want to keep the momentum going. If you're feeling a little down, make some changes. And the plans don't have to be super grand. They could be a date. They could be a picnic. They could just be like, oh, let me catch up with my mother-in-law or my mom. Haven't spoken to her since our wedding.
Yeah, like some shopping therapy.
Retail therapy.
There you go.
Yeah, so we totally think that will definitely help you out on the wedding.
Absolutely. And if you're the type of person who has to get all of the chatter and the thoughts out of your head, journal. Maybe you can write down how you're feeling, and then that'll help clear your mind to plan some of these things, or to move forward, or look for something that will bring you joy in the next steps of your marriage.
Yeah, that's so true. And it's a mixture of like self-care with, honestly, it's a big self-care. You don't want to forget about it.
Absolutely.
Once you become married, like Beyonce said one time, she said, make sure you have your own life before you become somebody else's wife.
Ooh, that's the truth. That is the truth. You got to love and live for yourself.
Yeah.
And live for somebody else. So I love that.
Yeah. And it's like, also don't get like, it's a new thing to add to your identity if you want, but you don't want it to be all encompassing, and then you lose yourself. You lose who you were.
Right. You definitely don't want to lose yourself.
It's a constant struggle of things. Like, it's something that's easy to forget and drop to the back, but try to remind yourself every now and then.
And also, don't forget your friends. So, like Nettie said,
what about
plan to do something with Don't forget that you have them, okay? Just because you're married doesn't mean you can't have a girls' night, head out for some drinks, go to brunch, and enjoy being with your friends.
Yes.
They're there by your side to get you through that wedding time. Don't make it seem as though, okay, I'm married now, no more hanging out. Come on.
Yes.
You still have life to live.
You do. Do not forget your friends. Start a podcast with them.
Yeah, there you go. Chat it up.
Or tune into ours, like make it a thing. But
the one would help with the wedding blues.
And journaling is pretty cool too. You don't even have to have the wedding blues to journal. I think that's a pretty awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people are into that.
Yeah, I try so much. I have so many journals that I have started and have not completed, but I love them.
I'm gonna give it a shot. I started using a planner. So I tried to be tech savvy and like, oh, my phone has reminders. I have these calendar updates. I don't use it at all. So I'm like, let me give this a shot and just go back old school with pen and paper. And so far, so good. I'm staying a little organized, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It's helping a bit. So,
you
know, you know me, I'm quick to say, yeah, I'll be there. And then the there comes. And like, wait, I said that? I didn't know that was going on.
Oh,
so, yeah.
I gotta be there 5 other places.
Exactly. Learning about yourself. It's good.